I would like to begin by thanking everyone at the ACSF for awarding me the Outstanding Presentation Award. I'd like to begin by mentioning architecture as a symbol of cultural identity. If we begin by arguing that architecture is shaped by the people and influenced by local environments, architecture is thus considered to be a genuine representation of the cultural identity of each community. For example, there are types of architectural form that are very explicit in confirming this, such as the traditional African hut, which is constructed from local material, such as straw and mud, to act as insulation from heat and built in a different design and construction technique dissimilar from the Inuit igloo, which is constructed from blocks of ice to act also as an insulation, but in this case from cold. Since each architectural language expresses the environment and culture that provides its context, architectural expression can be considered thus a reflection of local cultural identity. Vernacular architecture maintains a tradition of architecture which is an interpretation and is critical, as it is the tangible expression of national character, spatial identity, and cultural patterns of existence. And the architecture must serve and express these cultural lifestyles in its design if it is to have any value within its local context. The intriguing function of architecture hence depends on its capacity to include collective concerns, basic needs, traditional requirements, forms and symbols expressing social and economic structure. As environments vary from hot to cold areas, from plain lands to the mountainous, and from the arid grounds to forests, so the reaction to each environment will undoubtedly be different. Correspondingly, the architecture, urban design, and city planning in each different case will also be different, expressing and reflecting the human interaction with the surrounding environment to shape the physical urban form. This form is considered the footprint of the city in that space. Such a reinterpretation requires the bringing together of traditional architectural practices or the consonants in a way that is meaningful to local communities within their different cultural and environmental, which are the variable aspects. Architectural designer or builder. The division in the architectural profession, which was created by the modern movements, resulted on the one hand in an architecture, an academic school that teaches students to design architecture that does not fulfill the cultural indigenous requirements of each locality. And on the other, a mechanistic industry producing buildings devoid of culture, art, and environmental consideration. The modern movements sought to reorient architecture by breaking free from the fundamental cultural aspects. These aspects regulate and shape architecture to give it its distinctive character in a favor of individual expression aided by modern construction techniques and new building material. In summary, modern architectural movements and contemporary building techniques have mass-produced identical housing units with rigid and strict designs which have no consideration for individual requirements and has degraded architecture from an art of cultural expression to a commercial trade with a mechanical attitude. Ibn Arabi, the Spanish mystic, Sheikh Muhyiddin ibn al-Arabi, was born in the city of Murcia, Spain, in 1165 of the Common Era. Ibn Arabi was given the title Muhyiddin, which means the reviver of the religion, and he is considered to be one of the most influential Muslim thinkers in the history of Islam, and Sufis consider him to be the greatest master, known as Al-Shaykh Al-Akbar, seeing him as the foremost and principal expositor of its teachings and doctrines. Ibn al-Arabi works range in size from short treatises that are few pages long to large volumes of full-sized books with subjects varying from theology and metaphysics to cosmology, sociology, and poetry. Ibn Arabi's ontology, in this hadith, Ibn Arabi makes clear that the origin of the cosmogenesis lies in the desire, al-raghba, and will, irada, of God to disclose himself, yuzhiru nafsahu. Thus he does by causing the possibilities, al-mumkinat, to appear from nothingness, al-adam, into existence, being, or wujud. As a result, for Ibn Arabi, the archetype of all creation is God himself, who is known as the unknown treasure, in whom the entities, al-ashya, were always existent in his knowledge. Ibn al-Arabi indicates there are two meanings from this hadith, the hadith of the unknown treasure. The first is that divine love is the cause of creation, as evident from the phrase, I loved to be known, أحببت أن أعرف. As Ibn Arabi notes, if it had not been for love, nothing would have been desired, and consequently nothing would exist in reality. The second is that love, hub, and knowledge, ma'rifah, are intimately related and interconnected. Since cosmogenesis also had its origin in a divine desire to be known and to recognize, these entities, God calls upon them to become. So when God calls these entities, al-ashya, as the Quran says, إِنَّمَا أَمْرُهُ إِذَا أَرَادَ شَيْئًا أَنْ يَقُولَ لَهُ كُنْ فَيَكُونُ. So God calls upon these entities to appear into existence. In a similar way, the artist, the designer, the architect, draws the ideas from the realm of imagination and brings it into existence. So the architect acts as a medium between the realm of imagination and brings these ideas into existence. Also, the Quran references this meaning in the Quran when God says, وَاللَّهُ خَلَقَكُمْ وَمَا تَعْمَلُونَ. God created you and what you do. So the architect is merely a medium who works with the divine palette into bringing these ideas into existence. The divine essence, known as the Dhat and the attributes, in Islam, God is understood to have 99 names, known as the most beautiful names, al-Asma'ul Husna. These names are either the names of God's essence, Dhat, such as Allah, or names of his attributes, Sifat. These names are the archetypes by which God manifests himself in the cosmos. Creation is thus understood to be the mirror that reflects these divine names and attributes. The divine names, al-asma, and the attributes, sifat of God, are understood by Ibn al-Arabi to be the veils, hujub, by which God manifests himself in creation. Thus, God is believed to be the one, al-wahid, in terms of his attributes, and the single, al-ahad, in terms of his essence. Being, al-wujud, Ibn al-Arabi repetitively discusses existence or being in his writings. However, the term wujud, wajada, which means both to find and to be found. Wujud is translated as either being or existence, and these entities or ashya come into being by being found. So the architect or the artist bring about these ideas into existence. So the architect is the hand of God, which God uses to manifest and bring about the ideas and these entities into existence. For Ibn Arabi, entities or things, al-ashya, exist pre-eternally in the knowledge of God and become manifest as existent entities through the creative fiat to be, kun. So things be and then come. God calls about things to come about. In a similar way, the artist and the architect do the same thing. Because entities cannot exist independently without the existence of God, thus creation has both a metaphorical and real existence. In other words, it can be found that God is the one multiple, al-wahid al-kathir, or the one real existence, who also appears as metaphorically multiple. Unity in being. Ibn al-Arabi believes that God is both transcendent and immanent at the same time. Because Ibn al-Arabi believes that the unity or oneness of God, this belief points to the metaphysical notion known as the oneness in being. The concept of oneness in being, al-wahda fil wujud, is the most recurring metaphysical theme in Ibn Arabi's writings. It is the main underlying principle in his writing. Beauty, love, and knowledge. The hadith, prophetic hadith, which God states, Prophet Muhammad said, God is beautiful and he loves beauty. Inna Allah jamilun yuhibbul jamal. This hadith is frequently cited by Sufis and by Ibn Arabi himself to refer to one of the main reasons behind divine love, and that is beauty, al-jamal. It also specifies that beauty and love are attached, attracted, and related to each other, and because God is beautiful, he loves to manifest his own beauty in creation. So it is the role of the architect and the designer to see beauty and manifest beauty in the design and the architectural and urban environment in which the architect dwells. The accommodating heart. In these famous verses, Ibn Arabi professes that the heart, al-qalb of the divine lover, can reach a spiritual level where it can identify, accept, and receive the various theophanic appearances, al-madahir, in their different forms, as-suwar. This type of spiritual adaptability of the heart, known as the mysticism of the perpetual transformation, where the fluctuation of the heart pertains to the constantly changing divine matters, al-shu'un, kulla yawmin huwa fi sha'n. And in every instant there is a different theophonic manifestation which is not repeated. It is manifested but never repeated twice. لا تكرار في التجلي. In the concluding statement, the intriguing ideas with Ibn Arabi's teaching in architectural design. The teachings of Ibn al-Arabi, with their emphasis on the interconnectedness of all existence and the unity in being, offer a profound framework for integrating sustainability into architectural design. By translating these spiritual principles into practical design strategies, architects can create buildings and built environments that not only meet functional needs, but also embody sustainability ideas which can be approached as close as possible in these designs. Unity in being and sustainable design, by designing spaces which harmonize with their surroundings and reduce ecological footprints. This means using material and construction techniques that are in harmony with nature, promoting the health of the environment, embracing sustainable practices such as the use of renewable energy sources, such as solar, wind, geothermal, reflects the principle of this interconnectedness, ensuring that human activities contribute positively to the global ecosystem. Symbolic sacred geometry and proportions. These sacred geometry and harmonious proportions serve as foundational elements, reflecting the interconnectedness or unity, the tawheed in everything, of all existence as envisioned by the greatest master, Ibn al-Arabi. By utilizing natural material and sensory-rich environments to enhance the spiritual resonance of architectural space, promoting a deeper connection to the natural world. Natural material and biophilic design. The use of natural, locally sourced material and construction aligns with Ibn al-Arabi's emphasis on the natural world as a manifestation of the divine. These materials often have lower environmental impacts and can be recycled or biodegraded, supporting sustainability. Biophilic design, which seeks to integrate natural elements into the built environment, mirrors Ibn al-Arabi's teachings by fostering a direct connection between humans and nature. This approach not only enhances well-being, but also promotes environmental stewardship. Spiritual and communal spaces. By creating spaces for reflection, contemplation, meditation, and communal gatherings, facilitate spiritual experiences, echoing Ibn al-Arabi's emphasis on love, beauty, and knowledge. Flexibility and adaptability in design allows space to evolve, reflecting the transient nature of material existence and fostering a dynamic interaction with the divine. Harmony with the environment. By designing buildings that blend seamlessly with their natural surroundings rather than dominating them, to create a sense of harmony and balance. This approach, inspired by Ibn al-Arabi, promotes sensitivity and reduces the visual and environmental impact of construction. The landscape and landscaping with native plants and creating green roofs and walls can support local biodiversity. This aligns with the Sufi view of the interconnectedness, the unity or tawheed, and at the same time the interdependence of all life forms. Fostering community and connectivity. By developing communal spaces that promote social interaction and a sense of belonging, such as central courtyards, shared gardens, and open plazas. This encourages the use of such spaces for communal activities, cultural events, and spiritual gatherings. The digital innovation and tradition. By blending tradition with modern technology, by using digital tools and technologies to create traditional design elements such as intricate carvings and complex geometric patterns with precision and efficiency. Incorporating digital art and interactive installations that respond to user presence and actions create a dynamic and engaging spiritual experience. Preserve and innovate cultural heritage. Study and revive traditional construction techniques and architectural styles, integrating them with the contemporary design to create spaces that respect and innovate upon the cultural heritage. Using digital archives and virtual reality to document, preserve, and share traditional architectural knowledge and practices with a wider audience. Narrative and poetic design. Designing buildings and spaces that tell a story or convey a narrative as speaking to the viewer, using architectural elements and design features to illustrate themes of unity, love, and transcendence. Integrating quotes, poetry, and calligraphy from Sufi mystics like Rumi and Ibn al-Arabi into the architecture, creating a dialogue between the built environment and its spiritual inspiration. So by creating such designs, when the user sees the building or enters into the building, when they view or when they look, they can see and they can sense and they can feel. In Arabic, there's a difference between an-nazar, which is looking. An-nazar can be used by the eyes and the mind, such as this is my view or I view this. So everyone can look, everyone can view, but we want to make them see. Seeing in Arabic is ru'ya. Ru'ya is through the heart. So by speaking to the user through the architectural forms, design, shade, and color, by speaking to the senses of the human being, the architect can elevate from making the user merely look or view, but at the same time can make the user see the reality of in the unity of all things. Adaptability and lifespan. Flexible and adaptable building designs that can evolve with changing needs reduce the need for a new construction and the associated resource consumption. This principle of adaptability, al-takif or al-takayyuf, can be seen as an architectural reflection of Ibn Arabi's teaching on the permanence and fluidity of existence. كل يوم هو في شأن. Every instant there is a divine manifestation which the architect can act as the medium in making the user witness and see and transcend beyond the sensed. Designing for longevity and durability rather than obsolescence ensures that buildings remain functional and aesthetically pleasing over time, minimizing waste and resource use. In conclusion, by integrating the sustainability ideas inspired by Ibn Arabi's teachings of oneness in being or tawheed into architectural design, architects can create spaces that not only meet functional and aesthetic needs, but also embody deep spiritual principles that can transcend beyond what is viewed or seen. Such designs will help promote environmental stewardship, enhance human well-being, and reflect the profound interconnectedness of all existence, at-tawheed. In doing so, architecture becomes a medium for expressing the unity in being, fostering a harmonious relationship between humanity and the natural world, and contributing to a more sustainable and spiritually enriched built environment. Thank you very much.